Hello, beautiful goddess. Welcome back to Love Goddess Podcast with your host, Katya Melvin. And today we are talking about the healthy balance of the feminine and masculine energies within yourself. That is how Love Goddess operates. She does not get pulled into her masculine too much, nor she gets pulled into her toxic feminine that we've talked about yesterday. She is a masterful balance of the two energies, and she knows she's a master shifter. She knows how to shift from her masculine into the feminine very quickly, and from her feminine into masculine very quickly. So overall, this week's topic is about permission to be feminine. Permission to be feminine, permission to be soft. And so what that means that a lot of women are living from a very masculine place, from a place of do, go, and how we've mentioned in another podcast episode, the vacuum is not plugged in, right? The vacuum is not plugged in. That means it's not backed up by spirituality, by inspired action, by intuition, by inspired direction from another realm, another source, right? And that is how feminine operates. It's intuitive, it feels, it's very in line with, there's something that is not right about this person or situation, something is off, and like I am teaching you to trust your intuition. Like being feminine is trusting your inner direction, because that is how universe and your guides are speaking to you. You have a higher presence out there somewhere that is directing you, and the way that presence communicates with you, first you get thoughts downloads, feeling downloads, but also your feelings. You're gonna know, this doesn't feel right, or this is something I feel it's right, it feels good, right? So with that being said, what's a healthy balance of a feminine and a masculine? A healthy balance of a feminine and a masculine is when a love goddess has her values straight. So who is love goddess in the first place, right? It's a woman who's turned on into her desires, into her authenticity, in her inner self, into her intuition, into her inner guidance. And she has a system of values that she put together that are of high integrity, high level, high value. And the woman who is the love goddess, she follows those principles and does not break the principles or boundaries, right? She, with those values, she also has strong boundaries that she is following, and she's not breaking neither of those principles. That's a woman who knows herself, who knows what she wants, who is clear on her desires, and she acts and lives those out from a place of her own authenticity. She's not trying or pretending to be anyone else. Everyone else is taken, so the only museum exhibition is you, right? Like, you are a unique self, so there is like no one else that you need to try to be other than yourself, right? And people fall in love with you for you, not someone else. And what's even worse, when they fall in love with that someone else and then discover that it's not you, then you are in for a big reality check, right? So with that said, the balance between feminine and masculine happens when you are able to shift. If you get stuck in your masculine mode, then you get home and you're still in your work mode and your work mind, for example, meaning masculine mind, and you still continue doing, guess what happens? you can't go and have sex, because sex requires coming from your feminine energy of wanting, being inspired, being tapped into your desire, wanting to receive pleasure, and that only comes from your feminine energy, but for both men and women. And when you are struggling, when you're in this go 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 mindset, you're not inspired to go and have sex. So that's just one example. That's where the crisis of desire lays in our society. We are so deeply stuck in our masculine energy that we can't just let go and enjoy, and therefore we don't cherish, we don't dress up, we don't feel good, like we don't put the makeup on, or like try to tap into our best self that will inspire us to have higher desires for love, date nights, sex, enjoyment, all that fun stuff. We are stuck on our to-do list. We always, we would say, oh, I don't have time for that. And this is more important. And we prioritizing our masculine to-do list over our pleasure. Like we always say, oh, this can wait, this can happen later, and it never happens. It never happens. And so it is very important to prioritize both, because masculine is not a priority, nor feminine is not a priority. You are a balance, and you need to use one of those energies each time you are in different environments. So at home with your husband, you want to be tapped into your feminine energy and give him your presence, not be all checked out and still in your work. Even though you're sitting with him, next to him in a chair, you are still thinking about the receipts and bills, and like your mind is a computer and you're still in a zombie mode, right? Your presence, that you are fully immersed with him, you're fully present for him in that moment, is what your feminine is. There's only now, right? And so when you tap into this full presence of being with him, enjoying him, that is when you are tapped into your feminine energy, right? So I use what I call feminine masculine shifters. Over the weekend, so my weekends are my feminine days where I get to not do work. I used to do work. Sometimes I still do, especially in times like right now. I'm going through massive scale, and so we are learning, establishing new procedures, things like that. It's like there's no time in the world to work anyway. But I'm still very mindful after my 2 months where I was just spinning in a wheel and got nothing accomplished. I had to do a reality check. Listen, I spin, I don't give myself a break, I work through weekends, and this is the result. Like I'm back at the start point. I would rather take things slow and enjoy the process, right? So I started having my weekends back, right? I don't do any work. I go sit on a beach, I read books, I refill myself with my mentors and what they say. I just like fill myself up, fill my container up, right? And so over my weekends is my feminine side. I'm in my pleasure, in my leisure, in my laziness, in my pajamas sometimes, and sometimes I put something else on, right? And so I'm in a very relaxed state, which most people are, right? But then Monday comes and we are required by the society to like get back on to work and like be in our masculine energy again. And so that starts for me Sunday afternoon, right? Or Sunday evening when I start outlining my plan for the entire week. And that's really the only task that I do on Monday. And sometimes it takes an hour, and sometimes it takes 2 hours, depending on how far I'm planning and what I'm planning. Kind of just putting and organizing and like reconnecting that's the key word here, reconnecting to what it is that I need to do. Because before, like on Saturday, I am forcing myself to forget, disconnect from my to-do list, right? Disconnect from my to-do list. On Sunday, I am reconnecting to my to-do list, and I start organizing and prioritizing based on the goals that I am going for, right? So I'm that's my process of starting going back into my masculine mode, right? Where when shift needs to happen immediately. Let's say I've been in a work mode for that long and I had a hard day and a lot of things happen, and I'm still like, my mind is still racing and I'm still under stress. And then I have a date night planned with my husband. And so I want to be present for him, but my mind is not there, right? I'm still in my masculine mind. I use an app called spcae. It's erotic stories for women that are voiced. How is it different from other erotic stories? First of all, it's actually men and a woman that are playing out the story. There's background sounds, the like heel clicking and like stuff like that. There's actually the whole scene is played out, and the best part, those stories are anywhere between 11 to 15 minutes long. So it's so quick, so short, and then they go into sex scene, which is also voiced. So for women, it's more descriptive and sensual, and it's about what she thinks and what he thinks. For guys, it's visual, like they don't need much. For girls, there's just so much more context needs to happen in a sex scene for us to really get into it. And so once you are in the sex scene, you like literally can't think of anything else. Like work will work. So this is when you're like, your mind is completely turned off to work. Like, hey, no work here. And so I use that as my emergency method to like quickly get into that feminine, flowy, soft vibe, to be present there in my feminine energy for my husband, to really tap into the woman within me, not a dude within me, right? And that nurtures his masculine energy as well. So let's talk about feminine masculine shifters, I call them. So a masculine shifter for me is getting the planner out, start planning my week, going to a gym and get the blood going. That's a masculine shifter for me. Going for a run, right? Masculine shifter for me is really organizing my to-do list. So masculine shifter for me is what would that oh my God, I had the entire list. I completely forgot, right? So it's like about organizing your thoughts and your to-do list and like creating a plan for what it is that you're going to do and then getting into action, right? What are the feminine shifters from that masculine mindset? Feminine shifters to shift you into your feminine energy are listening to beautiful music and dancing to music. Dancing to music shifts you into that feminine energy. Being creative, or like doing painting a beautiful sunset, or whatever you want to paint. So painting, creativity, crafts are shifting you into your feminine energy. Singing shifts you into your feminine energy. For me, it's meditating that shifts me into my feminine energy. It's also like going to the beach, and that shifts me into my feminine energy. Being alone, just doing a walk that like creates that vacuum space, the white space for any feminine downloads, for releasing all the masculine stress, for just like disconnecting, forgetting, not doing, but just being, right? Being, going deep within. questioning and reconnecting to my feelings over my to-do list, if that makes sense. How am I feeling in my body? What is my body telling me, right? So those are the feminine shifters that I use very, very often. So with that, my love, the masterful blend of the feminine and the masculine is so critically important. And you can tap into your masculine or feminine energy depending on situations in your life, right? And it is important to keep that balance going and not to overpower into one direction or the other direction. It's important to have that balance, that flow of giving and taking, giving and taking, giving and receiving, giving and receiving. By giving, you are releasing the energy, but then you release too much, you have nothing left and you have an empty container. So what happens then? You can't give from an empty container. You need to refill the container. When you refill, how do you refill the container? With that feminine receiving. So you need to open up to receive and fill the container up. And when you have that masterful blend of giving, receiving, and refilling yourself, that is when you are fully vibrant, fully alive, happy, joyful, you're the best version of yourself, and you feel so totally connected and passionate for life. And that is exactly what Love Goddess is about. And with that, my love, I have opened up 3 spots next month for private coaching. If you believe that becoming a love goddess, if you are someone who have lost yourself, someone who is like in your masculine energy, completely tired, completely disconnected, unhappy, don't even know who you are, have very low boundaries, you feel that you are fake, or you are trying to create this new persona that you are not even, you don't know who that is. Or if you are not connected with your husband and you are trying to do this but it's not working, right? So it's clear indication that you need my help and you need my coaching. I know that you want to live full life, that you feeling beautiful, you are feeling authentic, secure, stable, believing in yourself, have healthy boundaries with other people, and on top of that, really tapping into your highest feminine version of yourself, to where you not only blow other people's minds but your own mind with how much love you have for yourself and how much beauty you have within yourself. Then you need to coach with me, because that is exactly what we are doing in the Love Goddess coaching program. This would be a private coaching program. We will not be launching Love Goddess Academy for a while now. However, with private coaching with me, we will customize that approach to find what it is that you are working on to get you where you are really looking to get and become the version of yourself you're looking to become, because the future is bright and it is available for you, and you too deserve irresistible life. If you believe you are that woman, if you are ready to do what it takes, and you are ready to do the work, and you are ready to make a decision to change your life, direct message me on Instagram with the word application. We are sorting through applications to make sure it's a fit, and we'll take it from there. Thank you so much, and I will see you next week for another beautiful theme that we will be uncovering. Mwah! Love you all. Bye.